Hey everyone, welcome to the Freshwater Weekly Update. I hope everyone is doing well, having a great week, and just want to give you some things to look at and let you know what's happening here at Fishy Business. And where I want to start is in this Loach tank right here. I wanted you guys to kind of see where Ryan was with everything and to show you kind of how things have been progressing. I also want to show you some of the new products that we have that are correlative to this tank. Okay, as we move into the higher end form of plants, I just wanted to bring this up really quick. It is the Loach CO2 kit that we now have. We have a couple of those. We have a couple of the valves. We have a bubble counter from Loach as well. A couple of the tools. So you'll definitely want to check that out. The other cool thing that we have for the first time is we've got some new types of substrate. We have the Loach substrate that you see that we've used in the system that we have set up in this planted tank. We have some aqua growth soil, which is great for live plants, which we'll get to in just a second. But I definitely want you to check out in the higher end saltwater setup where we have a lot of the protein skimmers and things like that. We now are starting to expand into the higher end realm of live plants and equipment. So definitely check that out when you're here. Okay, as I've said, our plants are expanding. That is a big focus for us right now, our live plants and expounding on what we've already had. So you're gonna see as you come in here from week to week, the plants growing, no pun intended, the plant section growing. As you can see, the swords, we've got tons of assorted swords that we finally got to stay down. We've got tons of the bunch plants. Ryan has done a phenomenal job of laying things out really pretty. We can take these on a one-on-one basis when you guys come in to ask whatever questions you're gonna have. But as you can see, a live planted tank is a way of taking a beautiful underwater garden and creating something that is very personalized, very special, and very much of a painting for your living room in an aquatic environment. You'll see really cool these bunch plants coming up over here, and we've got an empty spot beyond this where another 150 will be hopefully this time next week. So expanding on the live plants, you definitely want to come check them out. We have gotten access to a new koi supplier, and that has changed the whole game of what we're able to offer you versus what we've ever been able to offer you as far as koi. So I want you to take a look for a few minutes as the music rolls on at the incredible selection of koi that we have and will conceivably have as the year moves on. Okay, so what you're looking at here in this particular piece of film are 4-inch standard koi and 4-inch butterfly koi. We've got a lot of the different ogon types, and we've got a lot of different markings within that type. So a lot of really cool fish here. If you've got a pond that's maybe in a darker area or maybe shaded area of the garden, or if it's right out in the sunlight, you're going to get a lot of pop from the color of these particular koi. Super healthy. The guy who is breeding them to be actually tougher and to handle the heat of our part of the United States. These are just great, flawless individuals, and I just don't think we've ever been able to offer the selection at the price that we have right now. If you've got a pond, come check these out. Okay, so here are 6-inch standard ogon koi and 6-inch plus butterfly koi. Again, the price point's fantastic for these. We've never been able to offer such beautiful koi at the size, at the price that we can right now. And what you're looking at are some pretty phenomenal Yamabuki ogons and a couple other type of ogon strains. Very lively, very active, very beautiful, readily eating, and super hardy. Definitely want to come check these out. And beyond even those two tanks, we have a third tank set up in the back that has some other 6-inch plus pretty ogon koi. So if you're looking for some that are a little bit bigger and a little bit brighter, we have got them right now. And if that wasn't enough, we've got 5-inch plus koi in the back. in our koi and goldfish section. You'll also see some very small Chinese high-fin sharks. Now, if you haven't seen or heard very much about these can live in a pond. They're not 100% guaranteed to winter over, but mine did in my pond from last year. Typically, we don't get them this small or this inexpensive of a price, but they are very cool. They almost look like sharks moving through your pond because of the extra high dorsal fin. So very, very cool there, and the best part, they eat algae. Okay, I'm going to try not to talk too much right now because these fish are going to speak for themselves. However, I have to say this. In 31 years of ordering fish, of putting fish out, of pricing fish, I have never been able to buy turquoise rainbows like these. I don't even know why it happened this week, but Kat was able to get them. I know if you've been on Facebook, you've probably seen them at this point. But if you love rainbows, if you ever liked rainbows, if you thought you might want to have a rainbow, you can very, very rarely get them like this. Obviously, they're schooling together, they're relaxed in the corner of this tank, but they are the super, super stunning blue turquoise rainbows that I could not offer you any other time. So when these puppies sell out, it might be 31 years again before I can get them to look like this, but they are incredible. I always show them when we have them because a lot of times we don't have them. These are some beautiful clown loaches that came in. To me, they're the perfect size to introduce into an aquarium. To me, they are the perfect color if you want a clown loach. A lot of times they come in and they're a bit washed out, or they don't have this or they don't have that, but these are really, really stunning this week. I love showing the peacocks in the African cichlid system when they have their color, and these puppies are super, super colored up right now. A lot of color strains too that I've never even seen before. A lot of these orange in the body, the pinks and things like that. We haven't got small peacocks like this colored up in a very long time. But if small isn't what you want, maybe you want the medium to large. We've got them as well, and they do look just as phenomenal as the small ones. They've even colored up a bit more. Lots of color in the Tanganyika and peacocks this week. Okay, for my crayfish lobster people, I aim to please. So here we have 2 tangerine lobsters that came in this week. You can kind of see one's a little more active than the other. These just came in. And we also have this blue moon lobster that you see right here, a little bigger bodied version, but very, very pretty. A lot of different white on blue colors for that guy. And we also have the tricolor lobster that you see here. And we have a fireball lobster right here. So I hope this satisfies even the most curious crayfish aficionado. Black neon tetras and regular neon tetras. On Monday I had 0 neon tetras because I had a service account that wanted a bunch of them, and I didn't have any, and now I just walked in and we've got neons everywhere. So would that I had had these on Monday, I would have sold a whole bunch of them. However, they're here and you can come buy them at your pleasure. So very, very cool, super shape. They are small, but that's when these fish tend to do their best, I think, when you're moving them around and establishing them in a tank. So very, very pretty neons in here. Check out this group of Paleotis cories. While this is not a group that typically schools, all the motion that they've been making in this tank today is definitely just that. A great bottom dwelling fish that will eat up any remnants of food and kind of keep the bottom cleaner than would without them. The Paleotis look really good in a group. It almost looks like moving rocks around the bottom of your tank. We are inundated right now with tetras, which is a wonderful thing. I love having a lot of tetras because you can mix a lot of them in a community tank. It's great to have the selection that we have this week, and all that long-windedness to get all the way right here to the candy cane tetras. That's what I was trying to say. The candy cane tetras. Right above them, swimming around, are also the Von Rio tetras with all the red toward the back. Those are some great fish as well, and you'll see also some paradise grommies, or dwarf grommies rather, moving around in the tank with them. But this is just a great little tank of a lot of assortment of tetras and grommies. Flagtail Prochilitis. We don't have these very often. They are a cool, different kind of fish. They also come in a there's one species that is actually red, but this is the more standard type. Very, very cool. If you want a conversation piece, these would be it. I can't remember a time when we've had this many healthy, super large angelfish. If you want some big full-grown angelfish, or close to it at the least, these would be the angelfish to come get. The platinums, man, they are platinum. They really almost rival a white discus, and at a lot less or less expensive price, but phenomenal angelfish this week. Okay, so for your semi-aggressive fish, we're gonna start right here with the black ruby barbs and the Odessa barbs. Some of these will actually work in certain types of planted aquariums, which I usually preach that barbs don't belong in a planted aquarium, but some of these will actually work. They still maintain their semi-aggressive state, but a lot of them, both of them actually, will color up with some really pretty pinks. So if you're looking for some cool semi-aggressive fish that we don't get every week, these would be the ones. My favorite fish of the week that we've got is the longfin marble Ashera catfish. This thing is beautiful. It's beautiful when it's little, it's beautiful when it's big. Obviously you can't house it with small fish, as it would eat every single one of them. But if you've got like a South American tank, or you've got a tank of a bunch of semi-aggressive fish, and you've got a little bit of room for it to move around in, this could be a phenomenal fish. The leopard skin spots, the striations on the bottom, the way everything just comes together with this fish really makes it a showpiece. So if you want a conversation piece for the tank, this one would be it. Platinum albino tinfoil barbs that came in this week are a group of barbs that we very rarely get, and they are platinum. The neon rosy barbs are probably more of a neon color than what we usually get. Even when we get sent neon rosy barbs, they come in a lot more washed out than they did this week. This week, they live up to their name. The electric color orange on the top of the head, beautiful, and you'll find that a lot of the rosy barbs are, while we consider all barbs semi-aggressive, the rosy barbs are some of the least aggressive of those. You can sometimes mix these even with community tanks, tetras, things like that. So great fish to have, and beautiful assortment this week. Okay, so we've got a few King Kong blood parrot cichlids in this week. We only got 3 of them. They have lots of different shades of orange, which makes these kind of a standout as opposed to your normal blood parrots, to the point where it's almost pink on the top of the dorsal fin, but really cool. Okay, so this week we got in some small green terrors. If you've ever heard me talk about this South American cichlid, it is probably one of my favorite. That's due to the fact that it colors up so beautifully as it gets big. And for tiny fish, they are afraid of nothing. If you have a South American tank and it's big and you've got lots of room and your fish aren't too big or too territorial yet, I would urge you to come check out the green terrors. There's lots of cool fish, but this fish, if you look it up as an adult, are just stunning. Okay, so this is a little bit random to throw in the video, but there is a reason I wanted to. I wanted you to see what a simple planted aquarium looks like with a few choice fish and how those fish look against that kind of background. So a lot of questions that I get asked when people are buying a new tank or setting up a tank or getting all these busy and colored backgrounds. But if you notice how this tank is utilized black to kind of make everything very neutral, so that every single thing that's in it, be it the driftwood, be it the plants, be it the rocks, all pop. Even the substrate sets itself apart from the whole rest of the tank, and it draws your eye into the individual fish that are in here. And I wanted to point those out real quick because I think it's worth mentioning. This is a very simplistic planted aquarium. We didn't go to a ton of effort to create this lush environment that ends up being lush anyway. It has a really cool feel, especially the twisting of all the roots and things like that. And you look at these Turquoise Rainbows, you look at the Farewella, There's several farewellas in this tank, and sometimes we show these fish when they're in the tanks and they just came in, but seeing it in an actual environment that would complement your house or something like that is why I really wanted to point out this tank, because it's easy to walk past and it's really, really cool. As long as we have them, we've got these Fishy Business shirts right now, $5 each. I've got them in lots of colors and lots of sizes, so it's kind of cool, and I'm sure they will go fast. The last batch did, and we've never sold them for $5. We usually sell them for 10 or 12, so come check them out. Okay, so that kind of sums up the freshwater video this week. Kat gave me a huge list to show about 10 more fish that were on there, but I decided to kind of divert that and show you a couple other things that I just wanted you to see. There are tons of different gourami species in this week. There are tons of different cories in this week, and I'll echo what I said earlier in the video as far as the tetras. We have probably the nicest selection of community fish we have had in months. So you definitely want to check that out. There are a lot of really, really cool things here at Fishy Business. As usual, and we're in a new month, so come check things out. I wish you a wonderful weekend. God bless, and I'll see you back here next week.